What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our match reaction here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool have gone to St Mary's and turned it around to beat Southampton by 3-2. It was by no means a vintage Liverpool performance, but I do not care one bit. We got the 3 points. We move 8 points clear. We can pick the bones out of it over the course of the next half an hour, and we will. As always, I want to say thank you to everyone that joined us for the watch-along. Thank you to everybody coming into the chat now. We're going to go through, give you our thoughts on the game, give you some stats behind the win, and of course talk about the big incidents. We do want to know your thoughts though, so let us know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are, of course, being brought to you today as well with thanks to our incredible sponsors, Manscaped. A reminder, you can get 20% off and free shipping store-wide at manscaped.com. That is 20% off and free shipping with our code Anfield20. Use it at checkout, and it doesn't even matter if the items are already on sale. That offer still works. Right. So much to get through. Firstly, if you would like to submit your player ratings, which Connor will average and put in our player ratings video, you can submit them with the link pinned to the top of the live chat right now. We love you to contribute. We're also going to be putting up our Man of the Match poll in a second for you guys to vote for Mohamed Salah, hopefully, as Man of the Match. Colin, lovely to see you in, mate. First super chat of the stream. Said, huge shout out to Dom, worked his socks off today. Yep, and got himself a good goal as well. So before I get stuck into the numbers and stuff around the game, I want to just go back to Mohamed Salah's first goal, because that is the goal scoring prowess of a genius. That was simply magnificent. He's seen Alex McCarthy coming out to him. He didn't take the time to have a touch or set himself. He toe poked it past the keeper. And the reason why that's so clever is McCarthy hadn't got time to set himself. It was genius from Mohamed Salah. And of course, he backed that up with a tremendous finish for the penalty as well. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mohamed Salah steps up, shows up on a big occasion when we needed him. It wasn't vintage Liverpool today, but how good do you feel right now? Yes, we've been through the mill over the last 90 minutes, but we came out the other side of it. We are 8 points clear at the top of the league, and there ain't a goddamn thing that Oliver, PGMOL, or anybody else can do about it at the minute, despite their best efforts. The underlying numbers from the game, my friends, and the Man of the Match poll, actually, it is up, so let's just give you the options. Salah, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, Kelleher. They're your options, and the poll vote away. So, the underlying numbers from the game, possession-wise, the home side, Southampton, 37% to Liverpool, 63%. An incredible 27 shots on goal from Liverpool today, with 11 on target. Southampton, 7 shots, 5 on target. Corners, 10 for Liverpool, 3 for the home side. Total passes in the game, Liverpool 583 to Southampton's 359. Tackles, 16 for the Reds, 16 for Southampton. XG, Liverpool 2.93, Southampton 1.28. And breathe. And breathe. Let me just get this comment up on screen, because it's funny. Swolnut said, I've seen you struggle lately, so here's my donation to Bin's research. I myself suffer with swollen Aussie nuts epidemic. And I know how tough it gets. Well, thank you, mate. We needn't suffer in silence, you know. We can discuss our huge, humongous balls in public proudly. Thank you for your super chat, mate. Should have been like 3-1, said Azan. Look, I've got some images of the penalty. Here you go. Here's one image of the penalty that was given. So just have a little look at that for me, real quick. That's one image of Andy Robertson's challenge outside the penalty that somehow, in the warped mind of Oliver, wasn't enough evidence to overturn. Disgusting. And here's another one to prove also that it was outside the box. And this nonsense of there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it is the biggest load of me arse I've ever heard. There's plenty of evidence. Look at it. That's all that should have been required. Once again, we're talking about the PGMOL trying their best to make up things as they go along. And thankfully for us, we found a way. And the referee had a backbone and gave a penalty when Darren was dragged down. But make no mistake about it, once again, Michael Oliver is at the centre of a very, very questionable call. Rams and Neil, welcome to Anfield Agenda FC. These officials work in the UAE in the summer. That has been knocked on the head now. They're not allowed these little side gigs anymore. You're right, Craig. Don't want us to win. It's a joke. And most importantly, though, the beautiful, sexy, updated Premier League table is also on your screen there. If you look at it below my arm, you will see Liverpool are top of it with 31 points, a full 8 points clear of Manchester City in second place with 23. Then come Arsenal and Chelsea, both with 22. So, I'll take it. Jordan said, even little Ollie boy can't stop the slot machine. So, let me just read out to you once again what was put out by the Premier League after that shambolic penalty. They posted to say, the referee's call of penalty for the challenge by Andy Robertson on Dibbling is checked and confirmed by VAR, who deemed there was no conclusive evidence that the contact occurred outside the penalty area. So none of this, it started outside and ended up inside nonsense. They're trying to tell us, the football public, that they couldn't find any evidence to conclusively show that that was outside the penalty area. There's loads of it, lads. Michael Oliver chose not to find it yet again. I demand that the PGMOL have a proper, thorough clearing of house, because they are not fit for purpose. The officials are a disgrace. Mohamed said, was the penalty not given for a handball? No, I believe it was given for Darwin being dragged down. Sajik said, Mo Salah. And thank you, mate. Yes, great to see Mo doing his bit today as well. Coiler said, give Mo the dough or FSG gotta go. So I know some people feel it's not on FSG. Some people feel it's on Hughes and Edwards. But look, as fans, I don't care. We just want Mo to get what he's deserving of, which is an extended deal. Let me just check something here. Sorry, I just want to read something. 1 second. Oh, okay, so the penalty was given for handball apparently. My apologies. I just got so worked up in the moment celebrating it that I couldn't even... I thought it was for the foul on Darwin. But look, handball, don't care. Penalty was given and we scored it. But thank you for correcting me, because genuinely I thought it was for the drag down on Darwin. I stopped looking after that. Kaz, but again, thank you. Always feel free to correct me on stuff like that. Kaz said, Salah clearly wants to stay. You can see it as clear as day. It's time for Edwards to step up and give him 2 years. Plus Virgin Trent, obviously, as well. Harvey James, thank you for your super chat, mate. You didn't put in a comment, but thank you nonetheless. And Wageless as well. Thank you, mate. Same thing. Didn't put a comment in, but thank you for your super chat. Do you think we missed Trent in that game? Yes, I do. If we're being honest about it, it wasn't the greatest performance ever from Conor Bradley. But I've always been honest. As much as I love Conor Bradley, I've always said to you guys, he's about a year, 18 months away from where he needs to be. So there is still development left in Bradley. But look, we got through the game without Trent there. And yes, we had to bring McAllister on in the end. I thought the referee was a bit liberal with the yellow card. I thought there was far too many for incidents I just don't feel were bookings on both sides. I just felt it was a lot of soft yellows. And I think it's not just today, by the way. I think in the Premier League, a lot this season, we're seeing yellow cards dished out early in games and for minor infractions. Ramsey said, best Liverpool channel, always the trolls were gone fast. Thank you. Well, if you're looking at it numerically, we absolutely whooped everybody today, yet again on the watch along. But that speaks to you, not me, to you, and your support of our community, all of you, so thank you. Ryan O'Driscoll said, these are the games that define champions. Yes, sir, they do. Because you know what? We'll all admit, every single one of us watching that game, that it wasn't good enough. All of us. Any Liverpool fan, man or woman, will say to you that was not a great performance. But the important thing is we left with the points. We can nitpick. Arne Slot can go into the training ground and work on these things with the boys. But you can't teach heart. You can't teach courage. You can't grow balls. And today, once again, in a difficult situation where we felt aggrieved with their first penalty, where we made a mistake and left ourselves too open for their second goal, and well done to Southampton on that, we turned it round. And we didn't throw our arms up in the air. And we didn't capitulate. And we didn't resort to being petulant. We knuckled down, we got our equaliser, and we kept going and we won the game. And that is the heart and fight of champions. So well done to the boys. Because on days like today where, you're not at your best, you're not fluid, grinding it out is so, so important. And a win is a win is a win. 3 points are 3 points. All men grow balls. You don't really grow them. They're there, they drop. You know what I mean? I meant the testicular fortitude is probably a better phrase. Ahmed said Liverpool's the best team in the world no matter what other teams here and they are claiming. Exactly, mate. Do you know what I enjoyed today so much? Seeing the amount of people come in, laugh at us, call us bottlers. But do you know what I don't understand, right? I've no problem with opposition fans coming in and having their poke and having a bit of fun. That's banter. That's the name of the game. But to see our own fans come in with Liverpool account names saying that Gravenberg's shit, saying that Robertson needs to be sold, and saying that we're bottlers, and it's disgusting. And they're the type of fans that really need a life lesson, because you're not going to be brilliant every week. You're not going to win 5-0 every week. And sometimes results won't go the way you expect. But don't give up. Never give up. Rusba said, we should buy a left back. Who would you buy? So I like ENQUIRIES. I like the kid, the Kuiper from Club Brugge. Kirkes, I'm not 100% sold on yet, to be honest with you. But any of those I think are realistic options. But I guess the manager needs to decide what he wants to do in that left-back position, because when you hear Arne Slot speaking about the Andy Robertson situation, you know, he still believes firmly that the reason we're not seeing Andy Robertson perform to the level we know he's capable of is because he didn't have a proper pre-season and he's still struggling to get the fitness. Honestly, I think it's a little bit more than that. I do think there is something to what Arne said there, but I also just feel he hasn't looked himself for a while. And he does not look like the Andy Robertson we all know and love. Carl, again with another super chat, said Champions 24-25. I'm not quite there yet, Carl, mate. I'm not quite there yet. I will go as far as to say if we beat City next week, that's the end of them in the title race. But, you know, let's take that when it comes. I think everyone needs to leg going on about Trent. He's gone, in my opinion. Salah and VVD will get new contracts, said Lee Maddow. Today's performance was a champions win, and that shows more than a 4 or 5-0. Honestly, Liam, I go back and forth on the Trent thing. Some days I'm petrified, I think he's going. Some days I find I'm a bit more optimistic and I think he's staying. Truth is, mate, I'm probably in the middle and haven't got a clue. I don't think your assessment is a strange one, though. I think I can understand where you're coming from. And on the Mo and Verge one, I agree. Officials can't stop Mo, said Adam. Will show with, will our shallow pockets. Oh, I know what you mean now. Sorry. Officials can't stop Mo, will our shallow pockets. Well, I hope that they feel he deserves the extension. Now, look, I don't know what Mo's asking for. I don't know what Liverpool are countering with. I'm not privy to that information. But I certainly see no world where he shouldn't have his contract rolled over that he's currently on for another couple of years. I think, I think that has to happen. Samuel Valencia said, you'll never walk alone. We go again. And thank you, Samuel, for your super chat, mate. And for your support of the channel. Steve Aldersley said 3 points, no McAllister yellow, and the PGMOL shenanigans thwarted. Yep, that's a pretty perfect afternoon. Craig, how do the odds work? So, the first part of an odd, some people bet in fractions, some people bet in decimals. I bet in fractions. So the first part of your odds, let's say it's 1 to 2. You have to bet the first side to get the second side. So if you bet a fiver at 1 to 2, you'll win 750 in total. 250 profit plus your stake back. If it's the other way around, if it's 4 to 1, it's 4 times your stake. So if you put a fiver down, you get 25 back. That's the way it works. But some people bet in decimals. I'm a fractions person though. 12 games in plus internationals and Robertson still not fit is nothing but an excuse. Until a new left back is recruited, Robertson should be managed very carefully. I don't think he would have started today, Devon, if Costas was available. It was Ian Doyle who let us know earlier on that he'd picked up a knock in training and thus was ruled out of this game. So I wonder, would Robbo have started today if Costas was fit? I'd say probably not. Right, only Ian Rush and Roger Hunt have scored more away goals now than Mohamed Salah for Liverpool. So Ian Rush 161, Roger Hunt 112, but Mohamed Salah has now scored 100 away goals for Liverpool Football Club. Another stat from Squawka that Mark sent me on is this was Liverpool's first Premier League win in a game where they scored first, or away game, excuse me, I'm going to read that again. This was Liverpool's first Premier League away game in which they scored first, fell behind, but then came from behind to find themselves winning since January 2016. So there you go. There's another one from Squawka. A couple of super chats I need to bring up on screen. LFC edits. You didn't put in a comment, sir, but I'm gonna say something for you since you're from Egypt. Mohamed Salah is amazing. He deserves a new deal. I'm bringing Omar Marmoush. I hope that works for you, my Egyptian friend, because your country's been very good to us, loaning us an icon in Mo, and hopefully Omar Marmoush follows suit. Frodo Baggins said, I think Trent would regret leaving like Coutinho. 100% he'd regret leaving. No doubt in my mind he would. Doug said Robertson's boot was on the line, but it wasn't about in or out. It was about where the contact occurred, which was outside the box. Exactly. It was never a penalty. It was a cop-out from Oliver, but I expect no less. You know, same man who didn't give the penalty when Doku was kicked, or kicked McAllister in the chest. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of them. Have you seen Steve Cooper was sacked? Yes. Genuinely surprised at that one. Some people cannot be pleased, Craig. Well said. Exactly. Look, do I wish this game had have been an easier win for Liverpool, where maybe we could take players off with 20 to go and rest them? Yep. But do I feel like I'm walking on air right now after what happened? Absolutely. You know, there's something very satisfying about turning it round and just silencing people. You know, not me, but the team and the manager. It's beautiful. And grinding out wins and turning around deficits like that, it really just makes you believe, doesn't it? It really, really just reinforces your belief that something special is being built here. Because we're not at our best, but we are winning. And I wonder, when we do click, when we do get into gear fully, wow, we're going to be phenomenal. Look, let's not kid ourselves today. There was some lapses there that we need to sort out. Full-back positions today weren't great. Canade needs to stop pushing people as well, because that's going to come back to haunt them. But other than that, you know, we got the job done. And I'm much happier to talk about what we can put right after a win than after dropping points. Dave, thank you, mate, all the way from Australia, said, do you think our luck might run out if we keep just playing good enough? It scares me for the long term. I'd like to think we're going to get better, Dave. And I'd like to think that we'll click. I do think we still need to go to the January market and bring in a midfielder, because Gravenberch cannot play 65 or 70 games. He can't be expected to do that. And you've seen today as well, even though McAllister maybe hasn't been at his best for points this season, he was important to us when he came on today again. So, yeah, we need to be better, you're right. Paul said we still need a CDM. Mate, 100%. You're preaching to the choir, I agree with you. LFC Edit said, what a win, but one question. Thoughts on the PGMOL and prediction for Madrid and City? So my thoughts on the PGMOL have been very clear for a while, mate. I'm not saying, and I won't say, that I think they're corrupt. But I do think it's no coincidence that there is a lot of subjective decisions at points where we're involved in title races that seem black and white, that are somehow mental gymnastics is done, and what seems like a fairly straightforward decision gets turned around and second guessed and comes against us. So let's just look back over some of these in important games. You go away to Spurs in the league when they're top and flying, and you're robbed of a perfectly good goal. And then there's dodgy red cards. So that came and went. Then we continued on for the season, and we played Arsenal at Anfield. Another game at the top of the table. Very tight game, and then Odegaard goes full Harlem Globetrotters. The most clear handball you're ever going to see. And not only was the penalty not given, but the ref wasn't even asked to go to the monitor. And the audio from the VAR was farcical. Moving away from the body. Nope. He brought the arm around and cuffed the ball away from Salah. Then we play Manchester City in the league. And guess what? Jeremy Doku kicks McAllister in the chest at the end of the game, and they bottle that decision. And once again, the ref wasn't even asked to go to the monitor to have a look at it. And now today, where there's a chance for Southampton to equalise in a game that could have massive ramifications in the title race, and Michael Oliver deems that there's not enough evidence to show that was outside the box. Look at it. So I, as a football fan, am supposed to bite my tongue when I see these very blatant decisions and the mental gymnastics used to say there wasn't enough evidence to overturn. It's bullshit. Webb knows it. Every opposition fan knows it because it'll happen to them as well. You guys and girls watching know it. The only people who don't have the backbone are Sky, broadcasters and certain parts of the media. Because anybody who cares about the game should be disgusted that these officials, whose name we shouldn't even know, are once again trying to impact the outcome of campaigns with their mental gymnastics. It is an embarrassment to the sport. So, I hope that answers the question. The PGMOL fits the English culture. Those in power, incompetent, no one's held to account, and everybody else's problem. I mean, I could say that about my own country's culture as well, mate, about government and nobody being held to account. We built a €350,000 bike shed here in Ireland for the government buildings. I'm going to say that again. We built a €350,000 bike shed that could have been knocked up for about 8 or 9 grand. So yeah, it's not just an English problem there, trust me. Liverpool versus 19 clubs equal plus PGMOL equals against Liverpool. Well, look, ultimately I think it should be 19 clubs against Manchester City, because they're the ones that are trying to start the civil war inside the Premier League. I feel like the awarding of the penalty made our game harder than it should have been because we started the game really well, said Mohamed, and thank you, mate, for your super chat. It was just a farce, bro. All of it, a farce. And thankfully, we found a way to make sure we got the result we wanted. And it is such a shame because, as I mentioned during the watch-along, go back 2 years ago and I was saying Michael Oliver is probably the best referee in England. Now, it's not just Liverpool fans that think that Michael Oliver has made some questionable calls. Speak to Arsenal fans and other clubs fans, and it isn't just us. So let's check the Man of the Match poll, which has had nearly 5,000 votes. So if you haven't voted, still time to get your vote in. And of course, we'd love your submissions for our player ratings video as well, which I'll be recording after this. So the good news, my friends, I hope at least, is that we will be back for a late night agenda at 8:45 tonight, where we're going to be celebrating, we're going to be partying, and we're going to be rubbing some noses in it. Because apparently we're not allowed to celebrate until we win. Well, that part's done. Let's celebrate later on. So I hope you can join me for that. Also, if you can, please do hit that like button. We need to get to 1,000 likes. After that comeback win, that deserves 1,000 likes. So again, if you can, hit that like button for me. 100 away goals for Mo, said LFC 1892. Yep, we read that stat out earlier on. Just Ian Rush and Roger Hunt ahead of him with more away goals. 161 for Rushy, 112 for Roger Hunt, and then Mohamed Salah with 100 now. What's your reaction on Leicester's manager being sacked? Genuinely surprised. You know, now I will admit, I do have a soft spot for Steve Cooper. I like him. I think he's a very likeable fella. I don't know enough about Leicester's season and their weekly performances, but certainly did come as a surprise. Sell Núñez already. Look, can we not get into the negative stuff? You know, you can say what you want about Núñez, and I appreciate that some people are divided on him, but he's fit and available. So for me, if we're selling a forward, it's Diogo. But again, it is a matter of taste, and I appreciate where you're coming from. Kaz said, let's start some sort of online petition to re-sign the three lads and send it to FSG to make our feelings heard. Let's put it on them. They know. Like, you've even got the cop putting up a banner about Mo, saying give him his dough. I think the fans' feelings are quite clear. It feels like Mohamed Salah and Virgil want to stay. We don't know about Trent. We hope he does, but we don't know. With these two gents, it feels like they want to be here, and hopefully the club want them to stay and find that common ground, because it's getting to squeaky bum time now. What is it? 5 and a bit weeks till the window opens. Salah is my king, said MX Xavier, or M Xavier. He's all of our king, mate. And, you know, his first goal today was quite simply clever. You know, it didn't give McCarthy a chance to set himself. He probably expected Mo to try bring that down, go around him and slot it home. But Mo brought it down by toe poking it past him first time. It was so clever from Mo. Great ball over the top to him as well. I don't know off the top of my head who played the ball, so feel free to let me know in the chat. But selling Jota is mad. No, I don't think it is, mate. I'm going to explain to you why. He's missed now 106 games for club and country in 6 years. And although nobody, including me, will debate that Diogo Jota, when available, is more than good enough to be at this club. But when he's not available, he's no use to anybody. And I understand and appreciate that this injury was a very unfortunate one, but it was an injury nonetheless. And at this point of the campaign, in a day like today, where we didn't have firepower off the bench other than Lucho, I think that makes my point. You know, Diogo's great, but he's not available, and that doesn't help anyone. So I'm not advocating to sell anyone, but if we are to bring in another forward, it will most likely be because somebody departs. We don't want that to be Mo. So let's wait and see. Anyway, United have gone 1-0 up, apparently, in their game. There you go. Rashford with the goal. So I'm going to go record the player ratings. But again, let's check the man of the match poll and finish it up. Mohamed Salah is your Anfield Agenda man of the match with a whopping 84% of the vote. So thank you to everybody that voted in that one as well. We had a load of votes in that one. What would we have? Over 5,000 votes, so thank you. And I will see you guys at 8:45 tonight for the late night agenda. Don't forget the player ratings video is going to be coming up in a while as well. And thank you to everyone that joined us. Thank you again to our incredible sponsors, Manscaped. A reminder that you can get 20% off and free shipping store-wide at manscaped.com, whether it's the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra or the Chairman Pro package that you can see on screen there now. Our friends at Manscaped have got you covered with that incredible offer of 20% off and free shipping. My friends, thank you for everything. Hopefully you can join me tonight at 8:45 because we've got some celebrating to do. I'll talk to you then.